welcome to the Stop, Drop, and Knit podcast. This is episode 54, I think, and my name is Lisa, and I'm coming to you from Long Island, New York. And yes, I lied to you guys. I didn't mean to, but I'm still recording from this location, so we're half moved. Actually, we are like 95% moved, but I've not been living in the apartment yet because I've been living at my job. It has been such a crazy few weeks, and I still have one more week of crazy work schedule to go. And what that has meant for our move is that basically just about all of our stuff, minus our clothes, are in the new apartment, but we're not there because we have had no time at all to get set up. We are still assembling IKEA furniture, and we still got to bring our mattresses over. There are things to still do over there, and we just have had the craziest schedule these past few weeks. There has literally been no time to do any of it. Really, I did go over there last weekend and thoroughly cleaned the kitchen. So I feel like we can buy food now and start putting food in the refrigerator without having to worry about whoever was there before us. And yeah, it needed a little bit of cleaning, and I have done that. So one more week of total chaos at work. My knitting, all of my yarn and my ball winder and my supplies and my needles, all of that stuff is over in the apartment. I, though, still have the same projects that I have been working on with me at this house right now. And I'm glad that I didn't move those over because, yeah, I haven't been there. So anyway, I am still recording from this location. I do think that this will be the last podcast from this location officially because I want it to be. So I did not think I was going to have a chance to record actually anytime soon, but I found the neighbor just sneezed really loudly. I don't know if you guys heard that, but I feel like I should bless them. But yeah, I don't know. If you hear a little bit of noise, the kids next door are outside playing, and they're playing kind of noisily, which is fine. They have the right to do that in their own home. But this is just, I was not expecting to have any chance to record. I have been so busy. Owen is going to be home from school within about 15 minutes, but my husband said I can come out here and sneak in a quick recording so that I can get an episode out this weekend, because I miss sitting down and chatting with you guys about all of the things I've been working on. And yeah, next week is going to be so crazy too that I figured I would sneak in a short little episode now and just try to catch up with you all before the chaos of unpacking commences. So hi, thank you guys for joining me again today. Welcome to everybody here. If you do not already follow me in all of the places like Ravelry and Instagram, I'll put that information for you up on the screen. My Ravelry username is LisaJack78, and on Instagram you can follow me at Lisa Westervelt Flute Studio. And now let's get into some knitting. We'll start with what I'm wearing today. So this sweater is an oldie but a goodie. I bring this out every spring. It is one of my favorite layering pieces. It is yet to be blocked. I knit this before I did blocking. I didn't really know that blocking was a thing when I made this, and I just wear it all the time. I think I should block it because if I did, I could open up the lace a bit more. But this is called the Cherry Blossom Cardigan, and I'm trying to think who it is by. I will put the designer's name on the screen. This is a pattern that I found in one of the Interweave Knits magazines a few years back, and I think it was from one of their spring issues. And you can see that so it was knit bottom up, I think, is how it was knit. I'll stand up. I'll probably insert some pictures, but it's a cardigan, and I'm pretty sure that it was knit bottom up, like back and forth for a long time, and then like some shaping, and I think I had to pick up, or something changed with, I don't remember how the pattern worked, but you can see that I have this line here, and I mean, it's pretty obvious. I have it on the other side too. There was something that changed in the pattern at that point, and I obviously got something mixed up there, and I didn't realize it until like the whole thing was done, and I wasn't about to fix it. So it is my imperfect cherry blossom cardigan, and I wear it a lot. I really like it. It's Malabrigo Madtash Light, I think is what I knit it in, Merino Light. I don't remember the color, but it's obviously my favorite purple. And yeah, I'll insert a couple of pictures from when I had finished it. Oh, and I put this cute little tag in it. I think you guys can see it says, "This took forever." And somebody had actually mailed me that, so I'm not sure where the tag came from. I want to say maybe it came from Knit Picks, but I could be totally wrong about that. But this did take forever, and it's been done. It just hasn't been blocked, and I keep saying I should probably block it, and then I don't. But you know, maybe one of these days I will actually completely 100% finish it and get it blocked, and yeah, I don't know. So that is what I'm wearing today. Let's move into WIPS. No finished objects, because I've been living at work and I've been moving, and there's been very little knitting time. But I have knit on 3 different projects, so I'm gonna get those out and share them with you now. Okay, so the first project I will share with you today are these socks. So I shared these with you last time. I still only have one finished. And the pattern that I have decided to knit these socks in is the magic ribbed heel, the magic ribbed sock, the magic ribbed. I am really unprepared today, you guys. I seriously just like in the car on the way home from work decided I'm gonna sneak in a recording. I'm not prepared. I wasn't planning to do this today. So yeah, the woman from the Autumn Acorn podcast is the designer, and I am using Knitterly Things yarn sometimes in April, and this is a colorway that was from the 2018 sock club that Julia does. I have been subscribed to her sock club for forever, and so I had dug in my stash and just found this skein that said sometimes in April, and I thought that it would be great for my April socks. And I thought that I was going to finish them in April, but now here we are, halfway through May, more than halfway through May, and I have one complete sock, and I am making progress. This is further than it was the last time I showed it to you guys. So I am halfway through the second sock. I think I'm about halfway through the ribbing for the heel. So they are still not finished, but the way that the sock works is that there is no special heel shaping, there's no heel flaps, none of that fussy stuff. So this is a really great sock to try out if you have never before knit socks and have been hesitant to because you're a little bit worried about the heel shaping. The heel turn, that is my absolute favorite part of making socks. So I'm kind of feeling a little bit bummed that I don't get to do that this time. I don't know, but instead you just switch to ribbing for, you know, that heel portion of the sock. This is a pattern that you pay for, so I'm not gonna say like, you know, exactly the details of it, but I mean the idea of it is pretty self-explanatory. But she does have very specific instructions for if you wanted to use like mini skeins or stripe colors a certain way and use like multiple skeins of yarn. And then there's also another part of the pattern that explains how just to do it with like a single like self-striping yarn or a solid color or something like that. So it's pretty self-explanatory though. I mean, I feel like it's a vanilla sock and then you do ribbing on the heel part. But if you want to try this pattern out, go ahead and support the Autumn Acorn and purchase her pattern. I think it was like $3, so totally inexpensive. And yeah, I just have halfway left to go. So I just haven't worked on them very much, but I am making slow progress. I'm kind of ready to be done with these though. So hopefully, I'm hoping I can knock these out by the end of this month so that I can start some new socks for June, I think that's what I would like to do. Okay, so now I have 2 sweaters to update you guys on. Let me pull those out. All right, so let's talk about my never-ending sweater. I'm seriously stuck on Body Island big time, but I did make a lot of progress. So I'm gonna update you guys on my Modernist Cardi today, and this is the pattern by Renee Callahan, and I am knitting this out of Wonderland yarns. I have a discount code, you guys. They gave us a discount code. I am going to put it on the screen because I don't remember what it is offhand, but I am a brand ambassador for Wonderland yarns, and they have finally given us a discount code to share with you guys. I'm so happy about that. So whatever the code is, I will insert it here, and I will also include it in my description box below with this video. It is good for 15% off of your order. So I don't think it includes all of the clubs, and I think that there are some restrictions, but basically, like if you want to order yarn or fiber, I think anything pretty much is up for the discount. So yeah, so go on over there and enjoy your discount. I hope that I enable you to purchase something for them. My favorite so far of the things that I have purchased from them is this color burst yarn. This color that I am using is called Splashing Through Puddles. It is number 19. It's probably not very clear, but it is basically solid purple with a really gorgeous teal and light blue, aqua blue section in there. So, this cardigan is amazing, but it is never going to end, I don't think. This is what it looks like caked up in a ball. Now, all right. Oh, it's kind of wrinkly because it has been scrunched up. So, over Mother's Day weekend, we traveled to North Carolina for my sister-in-law's college graduation, and I really only knit on this project during that time. So I'm going to try to get it so that I can hold it up without it falling off the needles. All right, hold on. All right, so this is what we have. Light just did something really weird. This is what we have so far. It's a lot. Oh my goodness, it is a lot. So last time, I think I had only had an inch or so under the armhole done, and now I have knit like that much. The part of the reason why this is going so slowly is because it's knit completely flat, and it is a light fingering yarn, so the gauge is, I don't know what the gauge is. I didn't do a swatch. I was a really bad knitter. I didn't swatch, but this is like supposed to be an oversized cardigan anyway, so I just chose size large, and which was the 3rd size because I usually knit the 3rd size, and I just cast on and I wasn't too worried about it. But this whole big section from this point now is like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of stitches. It's just so much, and it's knit flat, so that means it's like every other row is hundreds of stitches of purling. It's fine, it's good, it's just the slowest thing ever. So I'm making, oops, that's upside down now. I am making really good progress on it. So that's the view from the back there. You can see there's quite a bit more done than there was the last time I showed you guys a couple weeks ago. And I absolutely love this. I really want this to be done, but I think I just have a goal for it to be done by the time the fall hits, because it's just so slow. But it's really good mindless knitting, which is pretty much all that my brain can handle right now with the amount of chaos in my life at the moment. So basically everything I'm working on is very, very mindless. So it's just whichever mindless project I feel like working on at that time. But yeah, I mean, not a whole lot different to show you guys, but I did so many hours of knitting on this in the car, both down to North Carolina and back up to New York, and I feel like I have very little to show for it. So that's the status of this one. This yarn makes me super, super happy though. I love these colors, and every single time that I pick this up to work on it, it makes me so happy imagining the finished project, the finished product. So yeah, it's just never ending. So that is what I spent the whole road trip working on. And then I have one other sweater that I have actually made really good progress on as well. So let me dig that out to share with you guys. And don't forget about the discount code if you're interested in trying out Wonderland yarns. They have some really beautiful colors and some really beautiful fibers, and yeah, I love their yarn and I cannot recommend them enough. So I hope that you take advantage of the discount code. I don't think there's any kind of expiration date on it. I think it's just yours to have, so enjoy. So these days, ever since I got back from North Carolina, the project that I have really been focusing on is my Souffle Tea by Penrose Knits. Laura's pattern is so sweet. It's just the sweetest little sweater. I am knitting this with Lang lace, and this is a silk mohair, I think. Yeah, mohair Super Kids silk. And the colorway just has a number. It is 70701. And I wish it had a name, but it's like this gorgeous pink, but it's kind of more on like the salmon side of pink for sure. I think that this is the same color that Laura used for her design. I don't know for sure though. So I have actually made quite impressive for the little bit of knitting that I have done. I think it's pretty impressive progress. I have kind of like half of a sweater, and I'm really excited about this one. I have never knit a sweater in straight up mohair before. I think the only other time that I've knit with mohair at all was for the Love Note, and that was mixed with a singles merino wool. It was like one strand of singles and one strand of mohair held together. This one is a single strand of mohair on the top. So if I hold it up more like this, you can see how sheer that top section is. And then where this line is will be a ruffle. And from that point down, you hold two strands together. So it is just sheer on the yoke part of the sweater. And then there's a sweet little ruffle that goes all the way across there. And I think I'm going to knit maybe elbow length sleeves, or a little bit shorter than that. I don't think I'm gonna do full length sleeves. I kind of haven't decided that yet, but it might depend on the quantity of yarn I have left. I don't think I bought quite enough to do full length sleeves anyway. which is okay because I was thinking I kind of wanted like a shorter sleeve on this. But I mean, that's pretty decent progress considering I have had like no knitting time at all. Last time I showed you, I had like just gotten to this part here and I hadn't yet split to separate for the sleeves. So you can see I have the sleeves are now on waste yarn, and I have also knit, I think I basically just have to knit until the ribbing, or it's not ribbing, it's a folded hem, I think, on this one, which is a really nice detail. So I've knit maybe 3 inches, 3.5 inches maybe, since the separation, and I think I have to do about 10. So this progress is going pretty well on this. I'm really pleased. I think it looks really comfy, and I have nothing in this color, so I'm kind of looking forward to having a new color in my wardrobe too. And I just wanted to show you the back of it, which obviously it's not, like the neckline is not yet complete really. So the back of it there'll be a button to do like a little keyhole opening like that. So that will be super sweet. And then there's going to be an I-cord edge around the neckline. And so that is going to like cinch it together a bit more, because right now there's really like no structure to that neckline. It's just completely unfinished there. But yeah, so I'm really pleased with the progress that I've made on this. And I think because the other one is taking me so long, it is going so slowly, I feel like this is going to be my next push to get done, and then the other one is just going to get done by autumn. I also did not get any further since the last podcast I filmed. I have not touched my effervescent tea yet, so I can pull out the picture of that because I have the magazine right here. But the other project that I have been working on is effervescent, and this is a pattern by Amy Scher, and it's obviously on the cover of the spring issue of Pom Pom. So that's another, like, I just have to do mindless stockinette for forever. But I kind of feel like I want to focus on getting this souffle done first. Just because I feel like if I don't just choose one project out of my 3 to really focus on, like, none of them are ever going to get done. I kind of feel like they're all in that state right now where I just kind of need to choose one to focus on and make a ton of progress on it, and then I can pick the next one up again. So that's where my WIPS are currently. I have made a little bit more spinning progress, so I'm going to share some spinning with you. I think, though, that I'm going to do actually acquisitions really quickly first, because I picked up a new yarn and I wanted to talk to you guys about patterns for it. And so I know that not everybody sticks around for the acquisition section, but I could use some input from you all. I have a couple of ideas already, but I would love to gather some more pattern ideas. So let's head on into acquisitions. So because our trip was over Mother's Day weekend for my sister-in-law's graduation, we were actually driving back home on Mother's Day. And so my husband, being the sweet husband that he is, said, you know what? We're going to be driving right by Alexandria, Virginia, and I know you like Fibre space a lot. And since it's Mother's Day and we're going to be stuck in the car all day, we can stop at the yarn shop for your Mother's Day present. Isn't that amazing? I was so happy. So we went to Fibre space and it was so fun. So I got this little bag, with my purchase. So I was really excited to go to Fibre space, and on the way there, I was thinking, I really, really can't justify purchasing any more yarn right now because I have so much yarn. And I know how much yarn I have now because I just packed it all away in boxes and moved it over to the apartment, and I don't need to be purchasing any yarn. So I was being very, very mindful with what I planned to purchase for my Mother's Day present. Because if I was going to add to my stash, I decided that I needed to choose a fiber that I don't already have. So I thought, I don't have any linen, maybe I can try some linen. And so I found this Antigone, I have no idea what it is. It is 100% linen, and the color is called Prunelle. And this is also not a color that I normally choose, but I remembered, I thought it was really pretty because it's brown, but it almost looks a little bit purple too. So it kind of is hitting that purple point that I really like, but it's actually brown. And I was thinking, I have a sweater that I knit in a brown yarn, and it's one of my favorite sweaters, and I just love the color of it. And that purchase surprised me as well. So I went with it. So I got 4 balls of this yarn. And so I think it worked out to be maybe 1,140 yards. So I have a pretty good amount. So, you know, I could either choose to knit a larger, like, t-shirt type garment, and I have a couple in mind, or I could probably maybe sneak 1.5 to 2 smaller, like more lightweight, like tank top type garments out of this as well. I will tell you what I am leaning toward making. Okay, the first one that I'm leaning toward is called, I think it's called Bolan, and it's by Layla Raven. And it was knit with a linen yarn, but not this brand. I think she used a Quince & Co. linen yarn. So that is what I'm really leaning toward making. I'll insert a picture of it. And then I also saw another design. I don't remember the name of it, and I don't remember the designer, but it's a Japanese designer, and it kind of had an all over lace pattern, and it had a really cool construction. There were several different options that you could style this top, and so those are kind of the 2 pieces. I have enough yardage for both of them. Those are the 2 summer tops that are kind of at the top of the list right now. But I would love to get other ideas from you all for what I could possibly knit with 1,100 yards of linen. So yeah, hit me up with some pattern ideas. The other thing that I purchased from Fibre Space was the summer issue of Lichen. Yeah, I don't have a shop close to me that carries the Lichen magazine, so I was really excited to be able to pick that up here. So I haven't even had a chance to flip through it yet, but I'm really happy to have it, and so maybe I'll even get an idea for the linen top from this magazine. I'm not sure. And then, because we spent more than $50, that weekend they were giving everybody a free little like Notions container, and so it's really cute. Basically, how do you open it? Oh yeah, that's how you open it. You open it like at the top over there, and then inside it has all these cute little compartments that open, but you can close them all individually so that your stitch markers aren't gonna fly around everywhere. So that was just a free with purchase thing that I was really glad to get that. So always use little more organizational items like that. And then the last thing for my acquisitions section. The last thing for my acquisition section is I got my April yarn subscription for the Sock Club. So Julia's yarn for April came, and these are the 2 colors that I got from Julia. The first one is called Fairy Dust, and that is this one. And it is a 80% superwash merino, 20% nylon yarn. So those are some really beautiful colors. And then the other one is from her Remix Club, and this is called Monet's Garden Remix. And I think out of the two, this one is my favorite. I just love all of those really springy colors there. But they're both really, really pretty. I like the purples and the browns in this one, and yeah, this one is like spring. So those are all of my acquisitions. I have a little bit of spinning to share with you, and then a natural dyeing segment to include. So let's move on over to spinning. So this spinning segment is going to be super short because I am still working my way through spinning the rest of my sweater weather fiber. This was a limited colorway from back in October, and it's Frabjous Fibers, which is, oh, there's a cat, which is part of Wonderland yarns. So I will include that discount code here again, because if you're interested in fiber, you might want to use the discount code to pick up some fiber. So this is, well, we'll start with what the fiber looked like. It's a Polworth silk blend, and it is spinning up like a dream. This is officially all that I have left. I hope to finish this up this weekend or this next week. This, I'm gonna get through it because I've been working on it this time. So this is what it is currently looking like on the spindle. It's really just a couple more sessions away from being all the way spun up. And then I have just, I've got one singles, which I have spun really very fine, but it's so pretty, and it's not super consistent, but it's pretty fine overall. It's kind of like between a lace and a fingering weight, I think, on its own. So I'm thinking it's gonna be somewhere between like maybe like a sport weight when it's, I don't even know. I mean, I've plied it, so I'll kind of see what it's like. But I plied more of it too, so now I have two mini skeins. This one is really big, and this one is not as big. It's so cute. So, you know, let's see. I can kind of show you the thickness of it there. I think I have a cat like right behind me. I don't know. So yeah, it's probably more like a DK, I think. I mean, it's inconsistent, but it's really pretty. I really like it. So I'm really trying to get the rest of the way through spinning this now, because I think fall is gonna be here before I know it, because everything this year is just seeming to go by as really, really quickly. And I am just thinking that I would really like to knit with this yarn in the fall. So I've not yet washed and set the yarn. I've just plied it, so it's not like finished. I'm gonna wait to do that until I finish spinning the other single and get those two plied together. So I'm hoping to get the rest of the singles spun this weekend, and then over the course of the next week, hopefully get the rest of this plied up and officially finished. And that is all I've got for spinning today. I did get Paradise Fibers in again, and I did not bring that out to show you because it's just like basically a big 8-ounce cloud of white fiber, and I think it's like a sock fiber, I think is what they said. And they gave us some dyes to go with it. So they sent basically a big acid dyeing project. So that will be exciting, but I am not in a position with moving right now to have any time to do that kind of dyeing right now. So that particular fiber will definitely not be getting spun up anytime soon. So yeah, but that's what I got. You guys can watch my Paradise Fibers unboxing video if you're interested in seeing what came for the May Fiber Club. And I think now, there's a cat, there we go. It's just, I randomly get a tail stuck out of my head. And so I did not really do any more natural dyeing, but what I have, is that a car alarm? You guys hear? Oh, it stopped. Okay. So what I have for my natural dyeing segment today is I realize on my phone I have a whole backlog of natural dyeing videos that I made when I was dyeing with different materials. And yesterday I was putting together some footage that I filmed. I didn't take a lot of footage, but some footage that I did over the course of dyeing with the lichen. So hang on one second. So if you guys remember, like I've had all of these lichen jars, and this is kind of not on all the way. It's kind of wet from the rain, but I have not been taking care of these. So these might, at this point, these last remaining jars that I have might be kind of a bust as far as getting purple from them. But basically, I found the footage that I took, which was not a lot, and it was not very thorough or very detailed. But I got about 10 minutes of footage of the process of what the lichen looked like to begin with. I will insert the scientific name of the lichen. Basically, I think I figured out what it was, but at the time that I filmed the video, it was my first experience. And basically the lichen from my yard here is just the green kind of, I don't remember what it's called, but the green lichen that grows on like fences and trees, and I think it's pretty much everywhere. I think it's one of the more common types of lichen. So I will insert the actual name of it in the video portion of it when it pops up, so that you can see exactly the scientific name, in case any of you are interested in trying to produce these dyeing results for yourself. But I know that a lot of you are interested in the lichen dyeing because of the gorgeous purple that it can produce. And so I have about 10 minutes of footage that I took, just showing the very easy process that it took to get the purple out of the yarn and the final results, which if you guys have been with me, you've already seen the final results, but this way it'll be all in one little video here. So I just thought that rather than putting a separate video out about the lichen dyeing, because I wasn't really explaining things very thoroughly when I recorded, I just kind of took little short videos of the different parts of the process. So I think as a standalone video, it wouldn't really be very good. So in the future, when I start gathering lichen again to dye with for the next time I do it, I will try to make a more thorough video about it now that I'm a little bit more familiar with the process. But in the meantime, since so many of you are interested in the process of dyeing with lichen, I thought I would put just that footage at the end of this episode for you guys all to enjoy. So you can enjoy that. One little note about the lichen is that it is very important to ethically harvest the lichen. So I'm gonna film a little introduction actually, so hang on. So before we get into the dyeing with lichen process, I just wanted to put a PSA out there that you definitely need to be very considerate for the environment that you ethically harvest your lichen. They are very slow growing organisms, and it's really important that you only collect lichen that has fallen off of the trees on their own, or that it is from branches that have fallen that are no longer like going to be growing. The branches that I collected for this process were from windfall following a big storm that we had almost a year ago now. I think it was a storm over Memorial Day weekend. So this footage is partially a year old, just about. But I decided I was collecting branches to make oak dyeing video as well. So I thought, because I had all of these fallen branches, I took the lichen off of those branches because I was also going to be using the branches themselves to do some natural dyeing with. And all of it was from windfall, so I used every part of these branches for dyeing, including the leaves. I had done a dyeing with oak leaves video already. I have also put out already a video about dyeing with oak bark. And so now this is finally the lichen portion of that same, from that same group of videos that I just never got around to putting the video out, because this is a much longer process. You have to wait several months for the color to develop. So I just wanted to just put a little thing out there, just making sure that any lichen that you harvest ever is, you do it ethically. Harvest might not be the right word, but forage for. You just really only ever want to take windfall and never pick it directly off of anything. So with that being said, here is the process that I used to make a gorgeous purple from this green lichen that is very commonly found on oak trees in Long Island, and I think lots of other parts of the world. So I hope you enjoy this, and I'll catch up with you guys again soon. Thank you so much for watching, and I'm just gonna say my goodbye now. Thank you guys so much for watching today. I hope that you enjoyed this segment, and I will see you guys again soon. Bye-bye. This is Lichen. Owen and I found quite the lichen haul today. We hit the lichen gold mine on our walk around the neighborhood. Check out that huge branch. Oh my gosh, amazing. Pretty sure the neighbors think I'm nuts. Apparently this gives a beautiful purple dye. What are you doing, Owen?
I am actually getting some lichen off this branch.
Oh, being a good helper, huh?
Yep.
Okay, so I don't know if I'm on camera, but I've got my lichen jar half full of water now. And my husband just brought home some clear ammonia for me. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add this in. So I'm just gonna fill this up to here with ammonia. Because we're gonna wanna leave this inch at the top for it to oxidize. Okay, get that closed up. I'm gonna close this up. Hopefully this is a very secure jar, and we're gonna shake. I'm just gonna shake this real good. Okay, so that's kind of coming out of the top. Maybe we won't hold it upside down. All right, so I'm just gonna let this do its thing for like 3 to 6 months. I'm going to shake it every single day. You got to take care of it. And about once a week, I'm going to open it up and let some oxygen get in there for a little while, and then close it up and shake it up again. But you can see all the lichen at the side of the jar over here. So hopefully, I mean, I don't know how the dirt that's in here is going to interfere. There's definitely a lot of dirt in here, but we're just going to go with it. I did not wash my lichen. I don't know if I was supposed to, but at this point, this is what we're doing. So, all right, there you have it. Okay, so now that I have some daylight, I wanted to show you guys some lichen fermenting jars in progress. So, let's see. I think that this is probably going to be the one that's closest to what I have in the dye pot right now. And so, yeah, this is from early July. So this should be pretty close. And so you can see how those bubbles at the top are starting to turn to a reddish type of color. So I'm going to be letting this sit until they turn to more of a Merlot deep berry kind of color. I would say I'll probably leave this one for another few weeks. These are kind of at a similar place to that one. And then just so you guys can see the difference, these I put in maybe just a couple of weeks ago, and so you can see how these are not at all ready yet because those bubbles there are still more of a brownish, yellowish kind of tint there. So what you want, I would say, you know, this color would be the absolute soonest that you would want to try to strain the lichen out and actually use this as a dye bath. But I would prefer to see this more wine colored, more berry colored. So we're gonna let this sit a few weeks. And all that you do is every day or so you shake this a few times a day, and then a few times a week you want to open the jars and let a little bit of oxygen in and then shake them up again. And then that helps just with the fermentation process, and that helps the color to develop. So it's important that you tend to the jars frequently. I don't honestly get to it every single day, but at first I was really good about it, and now I just kind of shake them up and open them up when I remember. But ideally you should be shaking them every day and oxidizing them at least once a week. I didn't film this part, but I am on my third lichen dye bath. I'm getting a lot of glare, but oh my goodness, can you see that color in the dye bath right there? Do you see that? This is dye bath number 3. This is skeins 5 and 6 are in here. Do you guys see? I just put this in the dye bath. There is still so much color in here. I cannot wait to show you guys the first 2 dye baths. Oh my goodness. So basically, what I did was I let this sit from the lichen in the ammonia and water mixture from June 27th, and then I took it out yesterday, which was October 4th, and I strained the lichen from the dye bath, and I put the dye bath in this big pot, and I added a whole bunch of water to have enough room for the yarn to float. And I've been dyeing yarn. It's very stinky because of all the ammonia, but oh my goodness, the colors I am getting, you guys, is so amazing. Okay guys, do you see this? It is nighttime, and this is in my bathroom where there's no natural light right now because it is very dark outside. Do you see the color of this lichen dyed yarn? It's my favorite color. It's my favorite shade of purple ever. And I pulled out 2 more skeins so you can see the second dye bath. So these first 2 that are really dark right here is before the very first time in the dye bath. And then I put 2 more skeins in so you can see how much lighter it got. And I just showed you the third dye bath in the kitchen right now. So, oh my goodness, I'm so excited. I think I could just do nothing but dye with lichen the rest of my life and be totally happy because it's my favorite color. So fun. Oh my goodness, I cannot wait to show you guys this. And now I have not rinsed this yet, so this still needs to be rinsed. So I'm hoping that we don't lose too much color, but we will see. But it's going to be gorgeous. I am going to let it dry before I rinse it because the color should keep better if I let it dry first before rinsing. So that's the plan. Isn't this amazing? Oh my goodness. I am just so thrilled with how these have turned out. So these are still pretty wet. So you'll see like at the top where, you know, the water's dripping down. So the bottoms have more water kind of in them right now. So they're more saturated with water. So probably the final color is going to be closer to what you see toward the top. And oh my goodness, these are just so beautiful. So, you know, obviously these are the first ones. I've got 2 skeins there that went in the very first dye bath. And I've just been exhausting the dye bath 2 skeins at a time. So this was the second one to come out, and then the third, and then the fourth. So the color is getting much lighter, but it is still beautiful. You know, so this first one obviously is just a gorgeous, gorgeous deep fuchsia. Absolutely stunning. And then this next one still has quite a bit of color, but it's more dull. It's not quite as vibrant, but it still has so much color in it. And then it's a little harder in this light for some reason to really get a true sense of these colors, but it's kind of like a silvery mauve, silvery lilac kind of color there. So yeah, sometimes against the fence it's hard to really see the true color. But yeah, so I'm gonna be out of town for a few days, and so when I return, these should be all dry. I'm gonna bring them inside when it gets dark tonight, and they're gonna finish drying indoors in a shady spot, and we'll have a look at them again when they're all dry.